Okay, so yesterday we were discussing about the life cycle of Plasmodium. What can you tell me about its life cycle? How did it start? How did it progress? What is the phase that occurs in the humans? What are the different phases that will form inside a human? Start off with a basic question. Uh, what is the infected stage of Plasmodium in humans called? Hmm, Very simple question. So mosquito से ह्यूमन को कौन सा स्टेज इन्फेक्ट कर रहा है? चलो जल्दी जल्दी करो. We don't have all day. What is the infective stage of Plasmodium that is infecting humans? Yesterday we went through the life cycle two, three times.
So first it is injected in blood.
What is the stage that is infecting humans?
Sporozoa.
Hmm. Okay. What happens to sporozoite in humans?
It enters in the liver cells of the human.
Hmm. It enters hepatocyte, and what does it start there? There is a cycle of reproduction that it starts. What is the cycle called?
Exoerythrocytic cycle.
Okay. Okay. It is starting exoerythrocytic cycle or exo-RBC cycle. We'll click on here. Okay. What happens to the sporozoite inside the hepatocyte? Or let me put it
And
this way. What is the form that comes out?
uh,
They will get converted into oocyte.
They will get what?
Oocyte will get converted into oocyte.
Okay. They will turn into primary merozoites. Alright. What will this merozoite do?
Enters the bloodstream RBC.
It will enter RBC. Alright. So do all merozoites enter RBC or does something else happen to them as well?
so first
Some of them
im-
are sleeping.
Some of them are hibernating. What are those called? And no, what is that no to our?
Hypnozoites.
You have to be a little louder, Mohan.
Hypnozoites.
hibernating.
Okay, they're called hypnozoites. All right. So some of these merozoites will turn into their hibernating forms, which are hypnozoites, which sleep. And whenever the patient in certain conditions, these hypnozoites will get reactivated, and they are capable of creating conditions of malaria. All right. Now coming to the stage that is going into RBC, what is the cycle starting here? Once the primary merozoite enters into the RBC,
Erythrocyte cycle.
ठीक है. Erythrocytic cycle started. I'm writing an RBC cycle. Okay. So inside RBC, what will happen to these cells? There are two fates that can happen. What are the two fates that will happen to the primary merozoite inside an RBC? Once a primary mesocyte is entering into RBC, it will change, right? What will it change into?
Two types are immature gametophytes and
Immature trophozoite इधर आता है. Just skip that stage. ठीक है. Immature trophozoite आ रहा है इधर. Immature trophozoite will later turn into two things. Those two things are what?
gametocyte
And
and
gametocyte. This is immature gametocyte. And what will be formed? This adjoint will make secondary mesozoite. This immature gametocyte will later on mature into either male or female gametocytes. Okay, that is the fate of your merozoites. The RBC cycle में वो primary merozoite is entering the RBC, turning into immature trophozoite. Immature trophozoite, half of them will become gametocytes. The other half will turn into a schizoid, which will further on go on to make secondary merozoites. These secondary merozoites are capable of starting RBC cycle again. The gametocytes mature, and when they mature, they will mature into one of the two. They'll be either become male gametocyte or they'll become a female gametocyte. That is the life cycle of Plasmodium in humans. Okay, is the Plasmodium having an asexual phase of life cycle in humans or sexual phase?
asexual phase.
Asexual stage.
Okay. Now, coming to the drugs that are being used to treat this thing, the pharmacology of drugs of antimalarial, essentially यहाँ पर जो classification आपको है, it is therapeutic. So, one second, I'll show you how therapeutic classification works. It is essentially based on how you treat, which stage you are trying to treat, okay, or which stage you are trying to kill or control, whatever you say. ठीक है. तो आपके पास 5 मेन क्लासेस रहते हैं. फर्स्ट राइट, या सो द फर्स्ट क्लास विल बी कॉजल प्रोफाइलैक्सिस. ठीक है. इन लोगों को कॉजल प्रोफाइलैक्टिक्स नहीं बोलते ये ड्रग्स को. ऑलराइट, यू विल हैव प्रीमाक्विन, प्रोग्वानिल, पायरिमिथामाइन कमिंग इन दिस क्लास. Right, then we have suppressive. See, causal prophylactics will specifically kill your schizon, sporozoites जो रहते हैं उन लोगों को मारती है. It is effective technically against all form except blood forms. Any form that is present inside the blood उसको नहीं मार सकता ये. ठीक है. Especially when we talk about primaquine, it is a causal prophylactic. It will be able to destroy every other form except those forms that are present in the blood. Okay. And essentially it is making sure that the cause does not occur. So यहाँ पर sporozoite को ही मार दे रहे. That is the prophylactic. ठीक है. It will destroy parasite in the liver cells. It will prevent RBC invasion. It is also capable of destroying hypnozoites. ठीक है. Exo RBC form जो है, hypnozoites which are hibernating before entering the RBC cycle. There are a few merozoites that are turning into hypnozoites, right? So वो hypnozoites को भी मार देता. Just in case, so that relapse does not occur, especially with Vivax and Oval. ठीक है. प्लाज्मोडियम वाइवैक्स एंड प्लाज्मोडियम ओवाले के साथ बहुत कॉमन है. वो दोनों के ऊपर if there is if the patient is being affected by that, if you give causal prophylactic, you have a good chance that relapse will not occur. Okay, it is not 100%, but there's a good chance that relapse will not occur. That is causal prophylactic. Now, main drug in this is primaquine. Now, the advantage to you is that the mechanism of action of primaquine is unclear. Okay, that is the mechanism of action is not mentioned. So, it is primaquine is unsafe to give in pregnancy. One important thing about primaquine, unsafe to give in pregnancy because it can cause hemolysis and methemoglobinemia in fetus. Okay, especially hemolysis. So, primaquine is not preferred in pregnancy as such. T-half is about 3 to 8 hours of primaquine. Main adverse effects that will occur is abdominal pain, nausea. A lot of this thing, antimalarials will cause abdominal pain, abdominal distress as well. Okay. Primaquine का specifically nausea, vomiting, abdominal pain. It will also cause hemolytic anemia in G6PD deficiency people. People who have G6PD, low phosphate dehydrogenase deficiency, उन लोगों के अंदर it can cause hemolytic anemia. Alright. So that is Primaquine, very small drug, not a lot of restriction to you at your level. Then we have blood size antibiotics. जिन लोगों को suppressive flu बोलते हैं. Are you able to hear me, or is there a lot of background noise यहाँ पर? There's some work going on behind me. If you're not able to hear me, I'll just shut the door. Alright, I'll take that as an yes, you're able to hear me. Right, this should be a little better. So suppressive prophylaxis या blood cytotoxics are drugs that will specifically destroy the parasite in the RBC. Alright, so it is targeting the stages of trophozoite, secondary merozoites, anything that is present inside the RBC इनको मारेगा. Okay, it will essentially terminate clinical attack of malaria. See, one thing you have to know about malaria is that whenever the plasmodium is having its life cycle inside the human, the main clinical symptoms of malaria that occur, fever, chills, all of that, that will be presented or that will come out, clinically, or they will become clinically relevant when secondary merozoites are coming into picture. Okay? Till then, the signs and symptoms will not be as apparent. Once secondary merozoites are bursting out of RBC and they're coming into blood, that is when you start seeing a lot of clinical symptoms. So blood size antibiotics are very good in terminating clinical attacks, in suppressing clinical attacks and terminating clinical attacks, because they are specifically targeting the stages that are present in RBC. So आपके immature trophozoite stage, all of that उसको target करता. Because of that, what happens is clinical effects will not occur. Okay? You'll be able to abate them for a while. Now, suppressive prophylactics में आपको chloroquine आता, proguanil आता, nefloquine आता, doxycycline भी use करते हैं. Even though it is not exactly anti-malarial, it is a tetracycline. It will work in this case. Okay. You also have quinine in this class. Pyrimethamine can be used. Okay. बहुत सारे drugs are. So we'll talk about chloroquine. Very, very effective against blood forms. Standard drug against blood forms. Chloroquine. Now, the mechanism of action of this is a little bit tricky, so listen very carefully. Okay? I'll explain what is normally happening inside your cell first, then I'll tell you what happens, what chloroquine does. Okay? So let us suppose this is your cell. Okay? Imagine this is the RBC. अब इसके अंदर you have hemoglobin, right? Let's suppose this is the RBC, and inside the RBC you have hemoglobin. Plasmodium, as a parasite, it will use this hemoglobin for its own purpose. Hemoglobin is essentially a rich protein with iron and oxygen. So क्या करते हैं? Plasmodium, it will use the oxygen and iron, and it will devour hemoglobin in such a way that it will get converted into a product. So यहाँ पर this is done by the plasmodium. Essentially an enzyme. I'll not write plasmodium, it is a special enzyme. For now, let's suppose it is enzyme E1. This enzyme E1 is being secreted by the plasmodium. What it is doing is that it is using hemoglobin for its own purpose. It is doing something with hemoglobin. I'm not going into the details of what it is doing, but essentially it is using hemoglobin for its own proliferation. And the result would be that hemoglobin gets converted into a toxic product called hematin. Now, bear in mind, hematin is toxic not just to humans, it is also toxic to, it is not as toxic to humans, but it is very toxic to the plasmodium itself. Okay, I'll repeat once again. Once the plasmodium is entering into the RBC, it is using the host's hemoglobin and converting that hemoglobin into hematin. Okay, this is also called toxic heme. Okay. अब ये हेमाटिन is toxic to the plasmodium. ठीक है? If hematin starts getting accumulated, the plasmodium inside the RBC will die. So this plasmodium will secrete another enzyme to convert this hematin into an inactive form or to a non-toxic compound. Okay, this toxic heme will be converted into a non-toxic compound by an enzyme that is secreted by the plasmodium itself. That enzyme is called heme polymerase. Okay, यहाँ तक समझ में आया कैसा क्या हो रहा है? ठीक है, this non-toxic compound is called hemozoid. I'll repeat once again. Listen very carefully. This is what is normally happening. Till now, I have not reached the mechanism of action of chloroquine. I'm only explaining what is happening normally once the plasmodium is entering into your RBC. Plasmodium, once it enters the erythrocytic cycle, it will start using or it will start devouring the hemoglobin that is present inside your RBC. Okay, and as a result, what will happen is hemoglobin gets converted into hematin. Okay, one byproduct. Think of it this way: hemoglobin is being metabolized by the plasmodium for its own gain. Okay, and hematin is the byproduct that is being formed at the end of that metabolic process or whatever that plasmodium is doing with hemoglobin. Uske end product is hematin. Now, hematin is toxic to the plasmodium. If hematin gets accumulated, the plasmodium will die. All right. So what the plasmodium does is it will secrete another enzyme called heme polymerase. Heme polymerase converts hematin into hemozoid. So it is essentially converting a toxic compound into a non-toxic compound. So that the RBC can survive, and more importantly, the plasmodium can survive inside the RBC and continue its replication, wherein we can finally get secondary merozoites. Okay, that is the purpose of the plasmodium. It wants to proliferate, it wants to divide. So it wants to make more and more amount of secondary merozoite. Agar hematin accumulate hone gaya, if a lot of hematin starts getting accumulated, plasmodium will die and you will not get secondary merozoites. All right, because of which heme polymerase is very important to the plasmodium for its own survival. Here comes our chloroquine. Chloroquine will essentially inhibit this enzyme. Okay? Chloroquine inhibits heme polymerase, because of which what happens is hemozoin is not formed, hematin starts getting accumulated. More and more of hematin starts getting accumulated inside the RBC, and as a result, the parasite's membrane will rupture and the parasite will die. Okay, because hematin is toxic to the plasmodium, what we are doing is we are increasing the toxicity to the plasmodium by not letting it convert hematin into hemozoid. As hematin starts getting accumulated, the parasite will die because its membrane will rupture. Okay, this is the mechanism of action of chloroquine. ये समझ में आया? Or do you want me to repeat it again? If you have doubts, if you want me to repeat it again, if you didn't understand anything, please feel free to ask. I'll ask you questions tomorrow about this. I'm expecting an answer. So if you have doubts, I'll be put slow. Okay. Lovely. Can you please explain the mechanism of chloroquine? Hold on. If you are not able to hear me, I'll put it in the chat as well. Please explain the mechanism of action of chloroquine. Okay, let me erase this. I'm not able to hear you. You need to be louder.
Inhibit heme polymerase.
It will inhibit heme polymerase. What is the significance of heme polymerase?
It is stop toxicity.
Excuse me.
It is stop toxicity, sir.
It is stopping toxicity. I need to be a little more clear. Your voice is breaking. Anyone else?
Yes, sir.
See, Lovely told that heme polymerase is inhibiting the toxicity because of certain compound. Can you further elaborate on what she was telling?
सर
Hmm.
सर हीमोग्लोबिन से हिमैटिन होता है सर, कन्वर्ट होता है।
ये कैसे कन्वर्ट हो रहा?
वो एक एंजाइम से होता था, उसके वजह से वो क्या होता था, टॉक्सिक टू प्लाज्मोडियम सर।
Who is secreting this enzyme? Raifuddin, there's a lot of disturbance. Plasmodium, oh dear, there's a lot of disturbance in your voice, Raifuddin. Plasmodium essentially metabolizes or it uses hemoglobin, and in the process, it is releasing an enzyme which is converting hemoglobin into hematine. This is toxic to Plasmodium itself. So, what does heme polymerase convert hematine to?
Hemozoid, sir.
Okay. This is
Non-toxic
non-toxic.
compound.
This is non-toxic to Plasmodium and it can survive. Our chloroquine will essentially inhibit this enzyme, because of which the toxic compound starts getting accumulated. And as it starts getting accumulated in the RBC, it will cause rupture of the Plasmodium and eventually Plasmodium will die. That is how the RBC form, or the erythrocytic form of the Plasmodium is dying. That is why it is called a suppressive schizontocide or blood schizontocide. Okay, these drugs are called. Now, coming to, I hope all of you are clear with the mechanism of action now. Now, coming to the PK of the drug, it undergoes oral absorption, excellent oral absorption, but one big problem with this thing, chloroquine, is that it starts getting accumulated in retina. Okay? Drug accumulates inside the retina, and it can cause ocular toxicity. It can cause ocular toxicity, especially if you are using chloroquine for a long period of time. On prolonged usage, it can cause ocular toxicity. It undergoes liver metabolism and urine excretion. T half is about 3 to 10 days. Stays in your body for a long time. Okay? That is days. Okay? Be careful. It will stay in your body for 3 to 10 days, undergoes liver metabolism and urinary excretion. Main adverse effects are nausea and vomiting. Very, very severe nausea and vomiting. Okay. In some patients, very severe. So, क्या करते? Before giving chloroquine, you will treat with an antiemetic. Treat with antiemetic. Antiemetics are drugs that will suppress emesis, or they will suppress vomiting, sensation of vomiting. The specific drug you use here is domperidone. Okay. About half an hour before giving chloroquine, you give domperidone. After that, you give chloroquine, right? So that the patient will not have as severe nausea and vomiting, right? Other adverse effects with chloroquine include itching. It can cause visual disturbances because of retinopathy. As the compound is getting accumulated inside the retina, the patient will have a hard time seeing properly. It can cause insomnia. It can also cause headache. IV usage, if you give it as an IV, sometimes it might cause hypotension, decrease in blood pressure, and it can cause arrhythmias as a result. Specifically tachycardia. Because whenever hypotension occurs, your body will think the heart is not working enough, and it will increase the rate of your rate of contraction of your heart, because of its tachycardia. That is arrhythmia. Tachyarrhythmia. Anyway, if you use it for a long period of time, upon prolonged usage, it will cause irreversible retinopathy. Okay? If you're not breaking the cycle of chloroquine in between, it can cause irreversible retinopathy in the patient. All right. The chloroquine also has a few anti-inflammatory properties. That is why it is used as a DMARD. ठीक है एंटी ड्रग कैसे यूज करते हैं इसको डिजीज मॉडिफाइड एंटी ड्रग्स बोलते हैं लोगों को रूमेटॉइड आर्थराइटिस में यूज करते हैं क्लोरोक्विन हैज स्लाइट एंटी इंफ्लेमेटरी इफेक्ट्स तो उसमें डीमार्ड की तरह भी यूज करते हैं कभी कभी नॉट ऑलवेज राइट then so we looked at two classes, right? We looked at causal prophylactics and suppressive prophylactics. See, there are essentially 5 main stages that we are trying to treat in malaria. One is porozoid, which we can target essentially. Hypnozoid, even though it will not treat per se, but it will stop reinfection from occurring. Virozoid, gemetocyte, and trophozoid. Okay, merozoite can be primary, secondary. These are the 5 main stages you are trying to kill in malaria, or these are the 5 main stages you are trying to suppress in malaria. Okay, now most drugs will work by killing 4 or 3 or 4 out of all the 5. Some drugs will kill all of them. Okay, again they have their own catch, but you have certain drugs that will be able to kill all the 5 of them, or able to suppress all the 5 of them. Your therapeutic classification is based on what it can do, what the drug can inhibit, what the drug can suppress. Okay. Then we have clinical curatives. Clinical curatives are specific RBC seizonticides. ये क्या करते मलेरिया के एपिसोड्स जो होते हैं एवरी 3 days को उसको सप्रेस करते हैं. You will see a lot of drugs being repeated in here. ठीक है, depending on how they are used, they are classified in a different way, but they are essentially the same drug. ठीक है, chloroquine is used here as well. आप फास्ट एक्टिंग हाई एफिकेसी होना तो you can use chloroquine, quinine, mefloquine, atovaquone, or artemisinin. Again, the problem will be that adverse effects will be slightly higher with these. Then we have slower acting or slowly acting low efficacy drugs, which will include proguanil, pyrimethamine, and tetracycline, specifically doxycycline. सल्फोनामाइड भी यूज करते हैं, बट उसके साथ सल्फोनामाइड जनरली कॉम्बिनेशन में देते हैं, स्पेशली आर्टेसोनेट के साथ, जो आर्टेमिसिनिन है उसके साथ देते हैं. एंड सल्फोनामाइड स्पेशली सल्फोडॉक्सिन के साथ एलर्जीज होते हैं, तो उतना ज्यादा नहीं यूज करते. यू माइट गिव डैप्सोन, sometimes you might give sulfadoxine, but sulfadoxine there's always a risk of allergy, severe allergy occurring. Then there is these, yes, radical curators and gemetocidal. Okay, radical curators they are very radical, they'll kill everything. Okay, they'll eradicate all the forms of Plasmodium vivax and ovale. They will even affect your hypnozoidal drugs. जो hypnozoids रहते हैं उनको भी kill करता है. Specifically, primaquine is a primary example in this class. Very, very potent radical curative. हर एक को मार देता हूँ. Alright. Radical curatives are essentially a combination of blood schizonticides and agents that will kill hypnozoidal agents. Hypnozoids रहते हैं उसको भी मारते. So you can give it in a combination as well, or you can give a single drug that is working. So buloquine है, primaquine है, tafenoquine है, ये पूरे just remember primaquine, it will be easier for you. Okay? It will work as a very, very good radical curative, though it has its own disadvantages, but it is fairly okay. In certain conditions. Then finally we have gametocidal drugs. Now these will destroy gametocytes, and the purpose of giving gametocidal drugs is to inhibit transmission. Okay? So that एक malaria patient को आया तो दूसरे को नहीं पहनना हो. All right. So you have primaquine, artemisinin. Now again, as I told you, same drug will start repeating again and again. You'll see pyrimethamine. Pyrimethamine especially effective when you want to prevent sporozoital development. Okay? Chloroquine, quinine, very good against vivax. Okay? Primaquine and artemisinin generally work on all forms of Plasmodium, but nowadays what is happening is Plasmodium ovale and Plasmodium vivax are slowly developing resistance to these drugs. That is why they are not working, not as well as they used to. Okay. Now, discuss. I just told you the classes, right? I'll tell you some of these drugs in between them. So, for example, proguanil has syndrome. ठीक है, इसको क्लोरोगुआनाइड भी बोलते हैं. दिस इज अ टिश्यू साइजोंटिसाइड. ठीक है, टिश्यू साइजोंटिसाइड, ब्लड साइजोंटिसाइड दोनों पे भी काम करता है. तो हेपेटोसाइट के अंदर जो स्टेज रहता है, एनआरबीसी के अंदर जो स्टेज रहता है, दोनों को मारता है प्रोगुआनिल. The main mechanism of action through which it works is it will inhibit dihydrofolate reductase of Plasmodium. Right? Inhibits dihydrofolate reductase. So its mechanism of action is very similar to sulfonylureas, okay, of Plasmodium. The result is that the Plasmodium is not able to make purines and pyrimidines. Okay, very very important for a parasite to make its own DNA material. Okay. Blocks synthesis of purines. One second. Purines and pyrimidines. All right, because purines and pyrimidines are getting blocked, DNA synthesis does not occur, multiplication does not occur, and the parasite is failing to divide. Right? So DNA synthesis is inhibited and division does not occur. That is the mechanism of action of proguanil. Okay. It will inhibit dihydrofolate reductase, because of which purines and pyrimidines are not being formed, and essentially DNA synthesis does not occur, and division and multiplication of the parasite is not occurring. Further growth does not occur. Okay. Now this drug mainly undergoes oral absorption, rapid absorption, very very fast. The metabolism is by liver. T-half is very long, 20 hours. T-half is about 20 hours. Okay. Adverse effects mainly occur, again, nausea, vomiting. The patients will have dizziness. Some patients will lose their appetite because of excessive nausea. They will lose appetite, will not be able to eat properly, and because of loss of appetite, they will also have weakness. Some patients also complain of diarrhea with proguanil. Okay. So rapid absorption, liver metabolism, T-half is 20 hours. Adverse effects include nausea, vomiting. Nausea, vomiting is kind of common in all antimalarials. Because of a severe nausea, loss of appetite occurs, and because of which weakness occurs in the patient. Right. So that is about proguanil. We'll continue with the rest of the drugs. There are 3-4 more drugs, 2-3 more drugs. And after that, we'll discuss other parasitic infections, amoebiasis, leishmaniasis, and trypanosomiasis. Discuss करेंगे.